We always deliver the wildest wrecks and the craziest collisions, but we throw in the obscure pop culture references just for fun. Grab your proton packs and get ready for today's episode of Wham Bam Dashcam. Rico was on his way home after picking up his son from school. As he made a protected left turn through an intersection, his Ford F-150 was suddenly T-boned by a red light runner from the left. The driver of a Ford Mustang had mistaken Rico's truck for a crowd of bystanders and slammed into the side of it. After Rico's insurance provider was quoted $45,000 to fix the damage, they chose to total rather than fix it. The 2022 F-150 Lariat was Rico's first new vehicle, and he only got to drive it for 9 months. He wanted to shout out his son Jericho, and he told us they're both huge Wham Bam fans. Sean was on his way to get the power steering lines replaced in his 1983 Chevy K20 and was driving down a snowy highway at about 40 miles per hour when his truck lost control. After spinning completely around, Sean's truck was hit by his brother's Suburban after he wasn't able to stop in time. The impact damaged the driver's door of the pickup and severely damaged the Suburban's front end. A tow truck took the Suburban home while Sean was able to continue driving his truck. He told us they spent the rest of the summer fixing both vehicles, but he never told us if he got the power steering lines replaced. HB was driving down a highway in the Netherlands when he spotted a rather unusual vehicle ahead of him. See if you can identify it before we give it away. That, my friends, is a Tesla hearse. We can't tell if it began its life as a Model 3 or a Model Y, but either way, what a rare find. I guess the Tesla Death Watch haters can finally be laid to rest. Courtney was driving her Hyundai Accent when she was suddenly clipped by the driver of a Mercedes GLE 350. After hitting the corner of her Hyundai, the Mercedes driver sped off while Courtney followed her for around 3 miles. When she finally did pull over, she accused Courtney of causing the collision and cussed her out. Courtney told us she called 911 while the Mercedes driver tried to intimidate her into providing her own insurance details so she could leave, as she was late for a meeting. Courtney refused and made her wait for the cops. After the police arrived and watched the dashcam footage, they issued the Mercedes driver a citation for leaving the scene of a collision. Thankfully, nobody was injured, either by the collision or by the Mercedes driver. Courtney told us she bought a VIOFO dashcam after we recommended them, and she couldn't be happier. To get your own, check the link in the video description. Carson was driving down a Utah highway when he came across the aftermath of someone's very expensive mistake. The driver of a dump truck pulling a trailer hadn't measured the height of the construction equipment they'd been hauling, and colliding with an overpass ripped the equipment clean off the trailer. I imagine that guy is having a very bad day. Colin was driving on a very wet Pennsylvania highway when his Hyundai Elantra began hydroplaning and lost control. One of Colin's back wheels smacked against a curb, badly rashing the rim. Thankfully, he was able to regain control before the situation got any worse. Pramod was waiting to make a left turn when he watched a Dodge Charger in a turn lane go straight instead, into the side of a semi-truck in the neighboring turn lane. Pramod told us the Dodge driver was visibly sorry after the collision. He also told us our videos help him de-stress and learn to be a defensive driver. Have you ever heard the saying, bad drivers never miss their exits? Alex captured a perfect example of this phenomenon while driving down a Florida highway. The driver of a Mercedes SUV forced traffic in 3 lanes to come to a complete stop so they could cross the gore point to reach their exit. Alex told us she tried reporting the incident to the Florida Highway Patrol, but since no collision had occurred, they told her they probably wouldn't do anything about it. Hopefully, someone who knows this Mercedes driver can reach out to them and instruct them on the proper way to react when they miss an exit, and perhaps on how to drive distraction-free so they don't miss it in the first place. Nicole was driving down I-5 when a driver she'd passed earlier merged behind her before speeding up. Somehow, they managed not to see Nicole's Mazda CX-9 ahead of them before plowing into her at high speed. Nicole's footage shows her speed at about 75 miles per hour at the time of impact, and the other driver was definitely driving considerably faster than she was. Thankfully, she was able to maintain control. The other driver kept going for a while before pulling over on the left shoulder. Nicole made her way to the right shoulder, but after a few minutes, the other driver left the scene. Nicole's Mazda was totaled by the impact. Sadly, her dashcam hadn't captured the plate number, so she's looking to upgrade it to one with better image quality. She should check out VIOFO's 4K dashcams. Links are in the description. Chris was driving 59 in a 65 when the driver of a pickup truck rolled through a stop sign and started entering the road in front of him. Chris honked, braked, and threaded the needle between the pickup on his right and the van on his left. It might not seem close, but check out how far into his lane the pickup was by the time he'd squeezed past it. Frank was headed home from work when he watched a driver ahead of him rear-end another vehicle without even trying to slow down. Frank swerved to the right to avoid getting involved in the collision. He thanked us for our videos and told us they remind him of what to watch out for while driving. He also told us he bought his dashcam based on our recommendation less than 2 months before this happened. Amanda was on her way to a farmer's market when she witnessed what might be our worst Tesla behaving badly yet. That Tesla man can't drive. Amanda was forced to swerve around the Model S when the driver started invading her lane, but we've seen worse from Tesla drivers. What makes this one special is how he reacted to her evasive maneuver. Rather than being thankful Amanda was being more attentive than he was, the Tesla driver sped around her, jumping in front of her and blocking her before attempting to force her to pull over. Instead of stopping, Amanda proved for a second time that she's the better driver before continuing to the farmer's market, where she told us she had a great day. Corey was proceeding through a green light with the right-of-way when a Jeep Wrangler turned in front of him, forcing him to swerve to avoid a collision. Although Corey was able to evade the Jeep, his maneuver slammed both wheels on the passenger side into the curb, causing over $800 in damage. The Jeep driver fled the scene while Corey waited for police to arrive. Sadly, the cops were unable to determine the Jeep's license plate number. Corey's insurance provider paid for the repair bill, minus his $500 deductible. Corey told us ours is his favorite dashcam channel, and he recently realized he's been watching for a long time without being subscribed. If you're enjoying the video, make sure you're subscribed. John was driving along when a side-by-side hidden by the glare of the sun suddenly turned out into the road in front of him. John was briefly forced off the road to avoid slamming into the side-by-side on the 45-mile-per-hour road. He wanted to shout out his son Grayson, who loves watching Wham Bam Tesla Cam ever since their family got a Model 3 Performance. Every once in a while, a submitter sends in the video evidence of their own bad driving. JC sent us this video and told us I was the idiot. He was taking his girlfriend to work when he didn't give himself enough stopping distance on the slick road surface. Any idea what kind of car he was driving? That's right.
You've been Honda bumped. Honda bumped.
Thankfully, nobody was hurt, and I think JC learned a valuable and expensive lesson. This submitter watched a reckless F-150 driver go off-road in an attempt to cut around another driver who ended up taking the same turn lane. The pickup driver then tailgated the other driver, who'd done nothing wrong by the way, before they both turned off the road. Normally I wouldn't include a video like this, but this guy deserves to be put on blast. This submitter was driving down a Tennessee highway when the car ahead of him swerved to reveal a box in his lane, and with a van on his right, he wasn't able to avoid running it over. Thankfully, the damage to our submitter's Acura TL was minimal, and he was able to push the bumper cover back into place. He told us that washing and waxing the car removed most of the marks. He also wanted to shout out his sons Caden and Camden, and told us they watch Wham Bam videos every week. We hope he'll pick up some of our new vinyl decals for his ride. If you want a set for yours, the link is in the description. You'll have no trouble applying them yourself, and they're made of 3M automotive vinyl that'll look great and hold up to weather. You can get them in black or white, and they come with bonus Teslacam and Dashcam logos. Willem was on his way home from school when he was nearly knocked off his bicycle by a BMW driver going around a double-parked pickup truck.
Watch it!
What, you're surprised we're showing a video from a cyclist? It's not the first time. Go check out video number 13 in episode number 32 we posted over a year ago. We just don't get a lot of CycleCam submissions. If you've got one, send it in. This next video has a frustrating backstory. Aaron had left his Mercedes GLA 200 with a mechanic the day before this happened so they could fix a knocking sound coming from one of the wheels. The mechanic had been taking the car for a short drive after fixing the problem, but when he drove into another car, Aaron's dashcam notified him that a collision had occurred. He went straight to the shop to see what had happened. After showing his dashcam footage to the shop manager, they paid about $160 to fix the damage. Kevin was on his way to get some apple cider donuts when he spotted the Ecto 1.
Oh, it's the Ecto 1.
I guess the Ghostbusters needed to fill up the tank before another call came in. The gas tank, not the rooftop tanks. I don't think the gas station sells high-intensity microfoams.
Wham! Bam, we got a Patreon, man. Please support the show.